Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. And this movie is directed by Wes Anderson, and it came out in 2004. It was written by Wes Anderson and Noah Baumbach, that I didn't realize until I got this Criterion Blu-ray and just looking through like a little booklet that the movie came with, and just reading some of the credits, and I discovered Noah Baumbach was involved, and that made me even more excited to check it out. And I thought this movie was awesome, and I had so much fun watching it, and I really love a lot of things that went into this movie. And one of the things that I wasn't expecting going into it was the usage of stop motion animation. That caught me off guard. And whenever we do get that, although not often, it's very minimal. But when we do get it, it looks really nice, and it has a lot of charm to it, and sure, you can figure out how it was done, but I would take stop motion animation over dated 2004 looking CG. That would probably make the movie look worse. And much like every Wes Anderson movie that I've seen up until this point, the tone is very quirky and upbeat and fun, but at the same time, kind of like very serious and dark. And there's a lot going underneath the surface that is like very mature. But on the surface, for the most part, tone-wise, it's very it's almost like a children's movie, and the adults are talking as if they're kids almost, in a way. But that's part of the style, and that's something that I love about it, and I do enjoy what this movie is trying to be a parody of. And it's about people who are filming documentaries, and they just don't care about nature, and they just destroy it as they go along. And that's something that this movie highlights and makes fun of, Bill Murray's character Steve Zissou. There's a point where a little creature is on his hand. I forget what, maybe a gecko, I have no idea. And he just flicks it off his hand. And he just doesn't care at all about nature. And that was kind of funny. And I also like the main plot for the movie. It's him going after a shark that he discovered. And it was like, oh, this is cool. And then that shark eats his friend, and he's going after it in his part 2 of the documentary series that he's filming. He's going to go after it and kill it. And he's being questioned in an interview, what's the scientific purpose for killing the shark? And I'm not going to spoil what he says, but he has his reasons. And yeah, that stuff I really enjoyed. Without spoiling the film, this movie has some nice, subtle character arcs and parts that actually work for me, on a serious level. It's not just me laughing with the movie. It's also oh, I can actually enjoy this for what it is going for, beyond the comedy. It just not just with the comedy, and everything that it's kind of going for, removed from all the satire, it works as a serious film, and the serious moments really do work for me. And this movie has a really great cast. Bill Murray, Willem Dafoe, Owen Wilson, Jeff Goldblum, Kate Blanchett. Those are just off the top of my head, and they're all really great, and their characters are very memorable and fun and interesting. I also really love the music for the film, and there's a lot of David Bowie songs in this movie, and that stuff I like. The soundtrack choices at times were really fun. And there's a scene on a boat, and without spoiling anything, that would probably be one of my favorite moments had it been handled a bit better. Now I'm going to get into my criticisms with the film. There's some editing choices that I felt could have been improved. Sometimes it is a bit choppy, and that kind of took me out of the experience. And going back to the boat, the one boat scene, and it's the only one of very few action scenes in the movie. at that point when like crazy things started happening, I felt as though it could have been handled a bit better because there were some continuity errors that just didn't make any sense to me. I just wished it was handled a bit better so I could enjoy the scene more. But that's not to say that, like, I didn't enjoy the scene at all. Like, it's still fun, exciting, and engaging. And one thing that's not really a criticism for me because it's so few times that it occurs, there's some artificial slowing down in this movie where you just have less frames, and that stuff I was fine with because it is kind of like an early 2000s-ism. And it was just making me think of, oh, it's probably just a product of its time, and it was only used like twice in the movie, so it's not a huge deal for me. And also, I don't think this movie is as well shot as Wes Anderson's later films. Like, I find that this movie is like where he was still figuring out how to like perfect his style, having like everything symmetrical, and if there's going to be movement in any of his shots, it will be very precise. Like, he was still kind of figuring out how to perfect that, and in this movie, he hadn't quite achieved that, but I don't take points off that for this movie. I just find it to be kind of charming. I was like, oh, you're kind of figuring out what you want and not failing because of it. But speaking of that, like how the movie looks, I do think the movie does look really nice. And there's some really nice looking shots, and you can see Wes Anderson's style in this movie. And that's about all I have to say about The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. It was fun, interesting, and unpredictable story-wise. And it also doesn't waste any time. Like, I was surprised how much I enjoyed this movie. It had a great cast and great music choices. The movie looks great. Some charming stop-motion animation. And all in all, just a really great movie from Wes Anderson. I think it's one of his strongest films. And I do like Moonrise Kingdom and The Grand Budapest Hotel a bit better than this. But with that being said, I do think this movie is really great, and I would highly recommend that you check it out. So with all that being said, I'm going to give The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Terms of Endearment. So look forward to that, and before I end the video, I do have to give out a little channel update. My internet is getting better. I know, like, before I have mentioned that it's been like really slow as of late, but it is starting to get better finally. Another thing that I have to mention, you wouldn't know this from just watching this video as an independent video. This is actually me reshooting Life Aquatic, my review for this movie, because I shot it and everything looked great, and then I got to the editing process and my audio was like glitched out. It was like horrible. And it was basically, in my opinion, unacceptable to release in that condition. So I had to like reshoot the whole thing. And that's another reason why this video is also a bit late. And also, on top of everything that I just said, my plan was originally supposed to be like, okay, I review Life Aquatic, then I would watch Super 8, but that didn't work out because I had slow internet. I was going to stream that movie. And then I did Terms of Endearment instead, like last minute change. And yeah, I kind of mentioned that in my next upcoming video. And like, this might seem a bit confusing if to like anyone but myself, but it makes sense in my head, but I don't know how this is going to translate. So yeah, I'm going to say some things in my next video that will probably make sense once you actually see that. Anyways, my review for Terms of Endearment, look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.